The European Union has long grappled with the issue of migration, striving to find effective solutions to manage the flow of people seeking refuge within its borders. However, recent revelations have shed light on a deeply troubling strategy employed by the European Union, which is paying Africa's brutal militias to detain migrants. Instead of addressing the root causes of migration or focusing on humane and sustainable solutions, the European Union has resorted to outsourcing the containment of migrants to armed groups in African countries. These militias, known for their brutal tactics and human rights abuses, are reportedly being financially supported by the European Union to capture and lock up individuals attempting to migrate to Europe. Welcome, this is Rain Smith, and you're watching the New Africa channel. A recent article published by The Guardian tells a heartbreaking story of a Somalian refugee named Abdulaziz, who had fled his homeland to escape the terrorist group al-Shabaab. After enduring a dangerous journey across the desert, Abdulaziz was locked up in Triq, al-Sikka, a prison in Tripoli, Libya. The reason for his detention was that the European Union provided significant funds to Libyan militias to imprison individuals who were considered potential migrants to Europe. Irish Times journalist Sally Hayden reported that after enduring 9 months of imprisonment in Triq al-Sikka, Abdulaziz found himself in complete despair. Driven by desperation, he tragically chose to set himself on fire by dousing his body with petrol and igniting a match. Horrific conditions, including hunger, disease, violence, rape, torture, and death characterizes Triq al-Sikka and other similar prisons in Libya. People imprisoned in these facilities face death from various causes, such as starvation, beatings, execution, and even suicide. A year and a half following the introduction of the European Union's controversial plan to address illegal migration via Libya, which has become the primary departure point for sub-Saharan Africans aiming to cross the Mediterranean Sea, migrants have been reduced to commodities subjected to capture, sale, trade, and exploitation. Irrespective of their immigration status, they are pursued by militias aligned with Libya's UN-backed government, confined in overcrowded prisons, and traded in open markets that human rights advocates have compared to slave auctions. These individuals have suffered torture, rape, and even death, with some of the abusers broadcasting these abuses online while seeking ransoms from the families of the migrants. As part of efforts to address unauthorized immigration, the UK is also considering adopting a similar approach of empowering militias to detain individuals, including migrants and those seeking refuge. Recently, Robert Jenrick, the UK's immigration minister, embarked on a visit to countries surrounding the Mediterranean, excluding Libya, with the purpose of urging political leaders to enforce stricter measures against asylum seekers and undocumented migrants attempting to cross the Mediterranean. The objective was to collaborate with North African governments in preventing boats from reaching British waters. This aligns with the actions of European Union politicians who, for more than a decade, have been striking agreements with various coercive entities in the region. These agreements, often involving funding, are aimed at detaining potential migrants heading to Europe, even if they involve alliances with groups considered reactionary or repulsive. While it is indeed accurate that illegal immigration poses a challenge for both the European Union and the UK, it is crucial to recognize that detaining illegal immigrants under harsh conditions and subjecting them to maltreatment is not an appropriate solution. The migration strategy employed by the European Union has resulted in harmful outcomes, affecting not only migrants but also local communities. By externalizing its migration policy, the European Union has caused economic disruptions and community breakdowns, facilitated human smuggling, and empowered Islamist militias while diminishing trust in elected officials. European Union officials, on their part, deny any responsibility for human rights abuses occurring in facilities funded by the European Union or perpetrated by Coast Guard and Navy units that have been trained and supplied by the European Union. European Union spokeswoman Catherine Ray asserted via email that respecting human rights and protecting migrants remains the European Union's priority. She also mentioned collaborative efforts with international partners like the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees and the International Organization for Migration to support and safeguard migrants in Libya. However, these claims sharply contrast with the distressing reality on the ground, where ample evidence indicates that European funding is contributing to a brutal system of arbitrary detention that systematically violates even the most fundamental human rights of migrants. Nevertheless, as pressure mounts on European leaders to reduce the influx of African migrants, they are intensifying their commitment to the nascent partnership with Libya, portraying it as a potential model for future endeavors aimed at curbing migration. The European Union's practice of paying Africa's brutal militias to detain migrants is a deeply concerning and ethically problematic strategy. It not only perpetuates human rights abuses, but also fails to address the underlying causes of migration. The European Union must urgently reevaluate its approach, focusing on long-term solutions and upholding its commitment to human rights and dignity. Only through a comprehensive, compassionate, and cooperative strategy can the European Union effectively manage migration while respecting the rights and well-being of all individuals involved. What do you think about the methods the European Union employs to curb illegal migration? Let us know what you think in the comments. Be sure to the video, comment, share, and subscribe to the New Africa channel for more exciting future videos.